Well, it is August 23rd, 2024. And so in attempts to try to shut down my Rhea Javon, Jeanette Garcia, and Aluna Yansa, I've been trying to download like a quarter of my videos and save them so that I can shut down that account. It's problematic. It takes forever. You have to make private post public for the duration of time that it takes to download a video. Otherwise, the link it doesn't work because it's considered a locked file. So you have to make it public, which is nerve-wracking for me because a lot of these, like as I've stated, and anyone that knows me knows, I've used Facebook as a hard drive basically for all of my content. And it's been kind of like that website that they used to have called LiveJournal. It's basically that. So there's thousands of private videos. And yes, there have been some public videos. Over the last couple weeks in particular, I've had to make anything I want public for, again, the duration of time it takes to download a video. So depending on how fast my internet is or how quickly it'll download, sometimes a video will take anywhere from a minute to download up to 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And I don't have any control over what or how long it takes. It has nothing to do with duration of time or length of the video. And it seems to be just contingent upon how fast my internet is, right? There's been a lot of emphasis on me saying things like, I haven't posted anything publicly, right? And then there's real time, up to date, heads up to my husband on like, hey, she made this one public 5 hours ago. Completely irrelevant of like what the content is about, right? Like, again, I've never had a discussion with anyone about it being like an absolute no-no that I'm not allowed to post anything public. So for me, if, for instance, as an example, the most recent one that there was an issue with me posting, if you listen to the content, like what is it about? It's about me listening to a survivor story, Deborah from Narc Apocalypse on Spotify. I'm listening to a survivor story and talking about my own personal experience with narcissistic abuse. So again, totally open for anyone in my life to tell me how that's problematic, why that's an issue, or why I don't have freedom of speech to talk about my own life publicly or privately. But the emphasis is just the fact that it was public. And it was public for the amount of time I needed it to be public so that I could download it. Anyways, so here's the thing I'm running into now, right? I have started other YouTube channels or Facebook accounts as a way to get away from the Rhea Javon, as it's not been any secret. Paranoid or not, I have felt like there's been interference with my Facebook. So what made sense was for me to start other Facebook accounts where I didn't have to be so dependent on the Rhea Javon account, where I have 800 people I'm connected to. And so that minimizes any risk of people in my life seeing my content. So like on Aluna Yansa, I only have 2 friends, 2 people that are connected to that account, and they're my other accounts. So in my understanding, no one should actually know about those accounts because I haven't talked to anyone. I haven't told anyone about those accounts. And I'm literally the only person connected to that. I know that there's a couple friends of mine that know about that account, but that's also been one of those things that I've been, concerned about, of like, how are these private videos getting views, right? Which is something that I can see. So I keep making, alternative accounts as a way to, fail safe the fact that like, any of my content can be seen that I don't want people to see, right? Okay, so same thing with like emails. I have like 10 fucking different emails, but at some point I feel like they're all compromised because they were all synced together via my main one, so it's kind of been pointless. Not anything shady, just whatever. Also, at some point, what I started to do was like I would use the Janet Garcia page for certain things, and then Aluna Yansa. It's like categories in my fucking mind of like certain content or certain things, right? Or I would have them buried deeper on like a more private page where there's no one who's supposed to be connected to it, friend wise, to ensure that no one would see them, right? Anyways, so the latest thing that's happening is this account, which was started on the 18th of August, 2024, is not allowing me to do any live videos. And it keeps popping up that you can't do live videos unless you are, you've held the account for 60 days. And it is the 24th. And 2 days ago when I tried to do a live video on this account, this new account, because I was going to shut down all of these other ones. But again, I don't have anyone to talk to in my life other than my therapist and my husband. And so as a way to process and deal, just like someone having a journal, this is just a video journal. The same way a person would have a written journal. This is just my more comfortable mode of processing and having a journal. So I figured I'd start another account and I would be able to process as I see fit, and it would be not connected to anyone or anything. Not any of my old emails, not any of my old accounts, as a way to alleviate my fear of interference or, you know, monitoring or hacking, right? And to not shut down my voice and my ability to process. At some point, it feels like thought policing, because the way that I share with myself is a way to keep the damage away from people, a way for me to, if I'm feeling authentically angry or resentful or sour or whatever, instead of like throwing it at anyone in my life and having it get on anyone, I just process it with myself, allow myself to have those feelings, and then I can compose myself, reflect on how I feel, and when I encounter anyone, whether it's friend, family member, partner, whatever, I'm not going to be coming to them with that intensity of emotion. And I'm also not going to be making myself sick by, you know, suppressing the things that feel more true to how I feel, whether that's rage or discontent or bitterness or whatever. It's things I consciously don't want to share with people. But what do you know? Glitchy, glitchy, glitch. Like, I'm not able to actually do that on this account. So I'm trying to, you know, get to the support and the help via the website to see what the fuck the issue is, because it's been over 60 days and that shouldn't be a thing. I don't know what's going to happen in my relationship with my husband. I just know that he's not happy and has expressed not wanting to do this, understandably. I was a broken, fucking drug addict, mentally ill mess when he met me. I still am that. A little bit better, but still wrought with the same fucking issues. I'm just trying to figure out how we can somewhat amicably part ways if that's what he really wants. Yes, I have my own personal concerns and worries surrounding his relationship with his ex, which we don't really talk about. I've never asked him to give up that relationship. I know he never would. I would never ask that. Doesn't mean that I like it. Doesn't mean I've ever liked it. Doesn't mean I like the way, doesn't mean I've liked it at all, you know? His ex has explicitly shared with him constantly how much she hates me. And I wonder, honestly and truly, why someone that hates you explicitly is going to take a role in your life as your sponsor and your boss. It just doesn't, it seems like a gigantic conflict of interest, you know? I don't think that I need to be homeless, you know, and if he wants to not be with me, and I don't want to subject him to feeling tortured and held hostage by being with me if he doesn't want to be with me. It has been a messy, painful road for both of us, and I don't deny that. And so now what I'm trying to do is to, you know, shut down my accounts, but hold on to some of my own journey, the good, the bad, the ugly. Basically, it's been a practice for a very long time to give myself what I believe other people deserve, which is the freedom to be them, messy, ugly, fucked up, shadow and light, not having to be some phony fuck who on the surface is wearing some fucking mask of like perfection and acting like I'm not capable of doing harm, I'm not capable of getting it wrong, I'm not capable of fucking up, I'm not capable of being an ugly fucking person, but not having that be the sum of like everything that I am. And instead of asking anyone else in my life to hold space for those parts of me, I found a way to hold space for those parts of myself. Unfortunately, those things are used against me. They're private things that were not supposed to be shown. I took the risk. You know, the content exists. And so I have suffered the consequence of that, whether that's losing my job or hurting people's feelings or, you know, having people take things out of context when they don't understand what's actually going on. Like, there's times when I'm so dissociated, but like, I don't trust that anyone in my life could actually be able to say she's dissociated here, and what's happening is she's talking about trafficking because she believes that there's some secret order who's figured out how to monetize the human soul, and she thinks that everyone in her life is part of some grand conspiracy to traffic her human essence. And the way, you know, like, no, I don't expect people to get that. I expect people to just get the crazy, you know, part of it, or the, oh, she thinks I'm the bad person, or she thinks that we're doing, oh, she says she, no, you don't understand what's going on, you know, like you don't understand what was happening in my mind or what was very real for me. And as I was speaking to my therapist I think last week, she was talking about like, that's the very nature of psychosis, is to be in an alternate reality where you believe it to be real. And I've had ongoing themes that carry through in my delusions and my psychosis. And those things tend to really, really be conflated when I'm on the streets and I'm scared and I'm tired and I'm on drugs and I'm not doing well. But there's a theme, and also with themes of like racism and trafficking and just insane shit. Those things actually resulted in traumatic things that I went through that I didn't deal with properly, and then they manifested in really weird, fucked up ways. So again, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm trying to do my best, you know. I try to give myself some weird kind of comfort that like, no matter what I do, no one in my life is going to be in jail. They're not going to be homeless. They're not going to be without a relationship. They're not going to be bankrupt. They're not going to be in jail. They're not going to be fucked up. You know, they may be hurt like I'm hurt, but they're never going to be, and I'm never going to do anything that would put any of them in that situation. So I'm going to keep trying to do that, you know?